Thank you very much, Chandrasekhar Garu, respected Dr. Hanuman Chaudhary Garu, respected Dr. Satyanarayana, Dr. S.K. Joshi, Mr. L.V. Subramaniam, Mr. A.K. Goyal, various other office bearers of Pragna Bharati, participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would also like to convey my greetings on the occasion of Civil Services Day. Today is also another very interesting day. And in fact, I'm right now attending that event also in parallel. Today is the International Day for Innovation and Creativity. So it's a good coincidence that this day is also being celebrated today, because something which I'm going to speak about actually showcases how creativity, how innovation can be utilized to deliver better quality public services using technology. I unfortunately could not prepare a presentation, but I'll like to explain as much as I can through my extempore speech. Telangana, as all of you would know, is a new state. It came into being in 2014, 2nd June 2014, 7.5 years ago. And right from day one, it was very clear. Joshi sir was the chief secretary. Mr. Satyanarayana has also been looking at us through UIADI and other lenses that he wears, including that of World Economic Forum. Everyone was, Mr. Goyal also has been an advisor from the very beginning. All the advisors, all the senior officers, all the domain experts, intellectuals who are well-wishers of Telangana, each of them was very clear that if Telangana has to make up for the decades of underdevelopment and missed opportunities, then it has to embrace technology in a very big way. And I have been the IT secretary for 7 years now. So a large part of the 7.5 years plus of Telangana story, I have been at the leadership role, of course, along with our minister, Mr. K.T. Ramarao. And we have been very clear in our minds that we have to use technology to alleviate the pain points of the common citizen. Whichever are the challenges, whichever are the problems that the citizens face, if we are able to showcase a technology-enabled solution for that, tomorrow the support for technology, the buy-in for technology will also happen. Many of you would know that there is a very ambitious national program called Digital India. And one of the important components of Digital India is to take digital infrastructure to every household, including providing broadband connectivity using optic fiber cable. So in our state also, we are spending close to 3,500 crores in providing that digital infrastructure. But we are also very clear that unless citizens participate in that digital journey, in the digitalization journey, the infrastructure will be a waste of time and effort and resources. We will not get the buy-in of the common citizens. And therefore, this is the endeavor that every problem that they face, we must be able to provide solutions. And as all of you would know, agriculture is one domain which supports the maximum number of livelihoods, particularly rural livelihoods. And we have decided to introduce technology in a very significant way across different spectrums of agriculture. And since Dr. Satyanarayana sir is here, he's involved in this initiative as well, because the state government is partnering with the World Economic Forum. We have co-created a program which is called Sagu Bagu, and we have identified 80 plus solutions which are of relevance in different stages of the agriculture chain of operations. And with the help of Agriculture University, the Agriculture Department, many of these solutions have been piloted and they have been tested, and many of them are ready to be scaled up. But looking at the theme of the conference today, the seminar today, I would like to give you certain examples about citizen services. As many of us would know, Telangana now and the combined state of Andhra Pradesh, we have been the pioneers in delivering citizen services to people under a program which is called Me Seva. For those who do not follow Telugu, Me Seva literally means services for you. And from almost 2 decades ago, we have been able to digitalize or automate many of the services for which the citizens need to have an interface with the government, what are called G2C services. Today in Telangana alone, we have 600 plus services which are offered under Me Seva, and in Andhra Pradesh also the number is not very dissimilar. But when we were reviewing Me Seva after the advent of the new state of Telangana, we noticed that while we claim that these are all digital and services are very citizen friendly, we have not really reached the pinnacle of how government should be. Today, many of us know that the national government has given a very important objective, which is called minimum government, maximum governance. And this is a slogan which we hear quite frequently. And obviously, if this has to be achieved, if we have to do maximum governance with a very limited visible presence of the government, then it has to be done using technology. But when we recognized or when we evaluated, when we did a deep dive of what MeSeva offers, we found that we have still not been able to reach the ultimate objective. And let me tell you very quickly what this ultimate could be. So we have taken as a reference the country of Estonia. Some of you perhaps may not have even heard of this country. It's a very small country. It is a part of the Baltic nation, part of this was a erstwhile Soviet Union. After Soviet Union disintegrated, this became an independent country. It is in the Nordic region. But Estonia today is considered to be the most technologically advanced country in the world. If you ask someone which is the most technologically advanced country, people typically out of ignorance may tell United States or Canada or somewhere. But the truth is that Estonia is far, far superior than every other country. So in Estonia, what really happens is they follow 4 norms of digital delivery of services. One is called presence-less. So you don't have to go anywhere. All government services are delivered to you at your doorstep. So completely presence-less. You don't need to meet any person at all. No interface with any government official. The second is, so that is contactless or presence-less. The next one is paperless. You don't have to put any paper. I mean, everything is done digitally. You don't need to really write any paper or print any paper or scan any paper. Everything is done digitally. The third motto which they follow is called anywhere. So you don't have to visit some place or an office. Or so in India, as we know, we have jurisdiction. So for example, I live in Begumpet. So if there are certain services which I need to avail, I have to go only to that office for which Begumpet is a catchment. But in Estonia, it's all anywhere. And the fourth motto which they follow is anytime. So typically government offices in India have timings. They start at 10 in the morning and at 5 in the evening. But in a digital world, there is no timing. Even at midnight, you can complete your transaction. So we decided that we will study this contactless or presence-less, paperless, anytime and anywhere possibilities for our digital services offered through MeSeva also. So I'm very happy to share that our initial results are very, very successful. And I would like to give 3 quick examples to tell what we have been able to achieve and how we use technology in delivering all that. So the first service that we really targeted was the pension services. As all of us know, after we retire from government services, we become eligible to receive pension from the government. And one of the mandatory expectations of receiving pension is that once a year, you have to physically present yourself before a bank officer or a treasury officer or in some other government office to show to them that you are alive and therefore you are eligible to continue drawing that pension. And obviously, it's very clear that the more elderly you become, the more challenging it will become, the more difficult it will become to go personally. And particularly during COVID times, as you would know, when mobility was restricted, it became even a bigger challenge and many people failed to get their pensions on time also. So what we have done is that using technology, we have created a solution through which you can apply for pension, meet the statutory requirement of visibly being seen by someone as an alive person without going out of your house. And you can do that 24/7. So what we have done is that we have created an AI-based facial recognition algorithm. So let us say I am a pensioner. So what I have to do is that I have to log in that portal which we have created or go to the T-app folio through which this pension services are available. And using a smart camera, I have to take a picture of myself. In popular language, we call it a selfie. So you take a selfie of yourself, a picture of yourself. Now the algorithm detects 2 things. First of all, it tells you whether it is a live picture or a picture of a picture. I can also cheat by pulling out a picture of mine and putting it before the camera. The camera will not distinguish whether it's me as a person or a picture of me. But this algorithm tells you whether a live person is getting his picture taken or is it only a photograph of that person. So first is liveness detection. The second is that in the database that you have submitted to your pension office or to your treasury or your main office, the picture is matched with what picture that you have submitted. And obviously, as you know, as people become elderly, their facial features change. Of course, many of them lose hair, some of them grow a beard, wrinkles appear on your face. So your picture which you have submitted there may be of your young age. And if you look at it today, perhaps the naked eye may not even be recognized that this is the same person with whom you are comparing yourself together. But the algorithm has been trained in such a way that however old your earlier picture is, whatever facial changes it has come, including growing a beard, losing your hair, getting wrinkles, losing your teeth, or whatever has happened to you facially, you will be identified accurately. And I feel very proud to share with you that the accuracy of this algorithm has now crossed 97%. It is 97.6%. In fact, in the technology world, anything above 85% itself is seen as a great kind of a success. To have an accuracy of 97.6% is phenomenal. So this is one part where you are identified. Identification happens using artificial intelligence. The second is that the database search also happens. So of course, pension the database is limited, but there are other applications of this identification-based real-time determination of identification, in which we have millions of people in the database. And as you know, many times, because English is not our native language, we misspell our names when we write when we enter someone's name. So my name, for example, is Jayesh, Jayesh. But in many databases, you will find that either my name is written as Jayesh or Jhyash. I mean, it is misspelled in multiple ways. But again, through machine learning, we have been able to train this algorithm to find out who am I in that database, despite the fact that my spellings may not be matching precisely. So based on image, based on name, and based on one or two other fields like father's name or date of birth, we do not use Aadhaar at all, because many of you would know that Supreme Court has not permitted Aadhaar to be used for these kind of searches. So therefore, this is a database integration where Aadhaar is not used at all as an identifier. So this is one example where we have helped pensioners receive their pension by showing their eligibility of being alive without stepping out of their house, by creating a solution which is called the real-time determination of identity by using artificial intelligence, deep learning, and machine learning. And as I said, this has served more than 60,000 pensioners so far in the state of Andhra Pradesh, has been replicated in various other pension giving associations and organizations, and has become a national role model. We have used the same methodology, the same technology in 2-3 other spheres also, where a person has to go to a government office just to show that he is the correct person. So wherever a identification check is required, we have used this. So I'll give you 2 quick examples. When you have to renew your driving license, we have used this technology now. When you are applying for the driving license for the first time, of course, you have to visit a government office because a physical driving test is conducted. That you can't give virtually, as if, at least not as of now. Later on, when we have advanced simulators, etc., maybe that also can be done by sitting at home. But at least to get your driving license for the first time, you make a physical visit to the office. But when you have to renew it, you don't need to give any test or anything. But still, the rules, the current rules require you to go to an RTA office and just show up saying that, and the physical visit to the RTA office does not add any value to this whole process. Just because it is in the rules, you go there, you show up, and the RTA officer looks at you, signs some papers, that is it. So we have completely removed this personal visit to an RTA office using the same facial recognition technology that I spoke about. And now anyone in Telangana can renew their driving license without visiting anyone, without submitting any paper. It is anytime, irrespective of jurisdiction. And that's a big improvement. Similarly, for degree college admissions, we have started this. And the last example which I want to show, which I want to explain, that is something which is very, very revolutionary. We have just done a small pilot in a limited sample size, but it has made waves all over the country. And this is something which is remote voting. we have been able to demonstrate that the entire election process can be conducted in this country without anyone stepping out of their home, which is something which Estonia does. So I mentioned in the beginning that our benchmark is Estonia. We have learned how Estonia does, and we have done it. We have decided to do it in a better way. So apart from the facial, because in the electoral process, apart from identifying who the voter is, there are 2-3 other important things, which is to preserve the sanctity of the vote, to ensure that there is no tampering. Right now, as all of us know, even the EVMs are under question. People who lose the elections typically find a very easy excuse to say that someone tampered or hacked the EVM. So this again is a very important point to kind of satisfy when we are offering a remote voting solution. So we have used blockchain. Blockchain, as some of you would know, is a very important technology today, which keeps all the records in a proper chain by ensuring that no one has access to violate that chain. No one can hack that chain or tamper with that chain. The moment you require multiple permissions to do that, to make any change in that chain. That is the literal meaning of blockchain. It was introduced in the context of cryptocurrency, but today has found multiple other usages. So in Khammam town of Telangana state, with a sample size of about 8,000 voters, we were able to demonstrate that all these 8,000 voters can vote by sitting at home. It's a 3-step process. First of all, you have to register the mobile device through which you are voting. And we have taken certain checks and balances, certain precautions there, that the same mobile phone is not used by hundreds of voters to vote. So that is one precaution we have taken. How do you register your mobile in advance? Second, as I told, is identification of voter is very important. The election booth where we go and vote, that is one very important thing, that your epic card, your photograph, everything is matched. There are polling agents who can raise a challenge if they think that you are impersonating someone. So the same selfie-based identification mechanism that I explained earlier, that has been introduced. And the sanctity of the vote till it is counted has been preserved using this very strong immutable blockchain layer. So the sum and substance of what I'm trying to share is that there are innumerable technologies. The examples that I gave include the application of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep tech, blockchain, but there are multiple others. We saw Joshi sir explain how drones have been used, how monitoring dashboards have been used. There are so many, more than a dozen plus emerging technologies. The latest is metaverse, the latest is AR, VR. There's innumerable technologies which are available today. And our effort in Telangana is to include all of these, either singly or in combination, to ensure that, first of all, we reach Estonia levels of paperless, contactless, anytime and anywhere. And so, secondly, all these technologies are used to solve the pain points of citizens. So, as I mentioned, we have made good progress in the last 7.5 years, but there are hundreds of other opportunities that we still need to conquer further. And we are continuously striving to ensure that Telangana's reputation of being a technology-driven state that remains intact. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity, and Civil Service Day greetings once again to all of you. Thank you very much.